and I can see our house. There's our pool.
Believe it or not, this is the world's most advanced drone that fits in the palm of your hand. If you're even remotely interested in drones, FPV or cinematography, it's going to blow your mind.
And I've been flying for a long time. I've experienced a lot of FPV. Something like this is just kind of next level.
G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here. So excited to show you this drone right here, the Antigravity A1. But this is a full deep dive breakdown. Let me tell you right now, if you're excited about drones, strap in, you're gonna have an amazing time. Look at the chapters down below, because this isn't some fancy flashy commercial just designed to sell you things. This is the deep dive breakdown. We're gonna talk about all the pros and also the cons that come with this. This is an amazing piece of gear. There's a couple of things that I would like to change, and there is so much testing that has gone into this video. This is a real video for you because you deserve it. Should you get this? Who's it for? Who's it not for? And what makes this the most advanced drone on the planet? And why I'm calling it right now is it the number1 choice for people who want to get a bit of a camera platform that not only does fun things, cool things, but it is also beating out the giants, things like DJI. And for all my FPV brothers and sisters out there, we are also going to compare it to some traditional shots using FPV drones and how does it stack up to a filming platform like this. So in a moment, let's break it down. I'll show you what you get in the kit, and then we're going to go fly it. We're going to do some tests. I'm going to get other people involved with flying this thing as well. I can also hear some people out there probably thinking, Stuart, that's not an FPV drone. What would you know about a camera platform?
Stuart, that's not an FPV drone. What would you know about a camera platform?
And to those people, I'd say, yeah, I absolutely am an FPV drone nut, but that doesn't mean I don't care about cinematography, like a Phantom 4 Pro, some of the old school ones right here, things like my little Spark. I've got the original DJI drones. I've been doing camera platform stuff as well. It's just not something I talk about every day. The reason that you are seeing this is because the A1 is blending the boundaries and making FPV not only accessible to more people, but also it's so much fun. So let's get on to the A1 and show you what makes it so special.
You want that perfect shot, and I'm going to show you the advantages of using something like this for pilots over a traditional FPV drone. So now, one of the most difficult things when it comes to cinematography and drones and getting that perfect shot is actually the pilot skill level. Traditional FPV drones like this, they are significantly harder than something like that A1 anti-gravity drone. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. We're going to fly past. I'm going to have to use my skills. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm going to have to orientate the drone. It's not going to do any self-leveling. I'm going to try to make myself the subject matter as we move past. I'm going to talk about the limitations because look, not everything is fixed on here. Once I'm past, the drone is not going to be able to continue. And then we're going to switch it over. I'm going to try the anti-gravity drone, and I'll show you just how easy it is for any pilot to do that. So, alrighty, so we're just going to take off. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a flyby and orientate the camera, which is the whole drone in this case, as I'm sort of going past as the subject matter. So there we go. We're out. We're away. Alrighty, so I'm just cruising along here. This is kind of a nice corridor to test this as well. Some good lights and some contrast with the shadows. But we're going to head along here, and you can see me in the distance, and I'm going to orbit past, try to keep myself in view while my drone continues. Now, I've been flying for about 10 years, so it does take a little bit of practice to be able to do that because you have to have your hands on the controls the whole time. And a big one to remember as well, it's really difficult to frame your shot with an FPV drone because you also have to have the craft facing that direction, and that has some limitations. So as I go to turn right here, you'll notice the craft is going to slow down. If I want to continue backwards, I have to tilt back, and then the craft is now moving backwards. I can't see where I'm flying. And also, I was completely out of view there, so it was very, very difficult to frame. FPV shots are great if you know what you're doing, but there's some serious limitations. And if you want something that you can just fly past and you don't need too much skill to be able to get that perfect shot, that's what I can't wait to show you what the A1 does. So here, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this in so I can show you just how special the A1 is and why I think for like filmmakers and people who want that perfect shot, they're gonna absolutely love it. We're gonna do that exact same shot, but using the A1 just to show you like how easy it is. A traditional FPV pilot can do some amazing things when they've got the skills. This is for like everyday pilot who just wants to get that perfect shot. Very, very easy. So battery in the back, and then we're basically ready to roll. So I'm gonna take off from this little bag as a launch pad, and I'll wait till these goggles connect. There we go. It is crazy to be able to look around, which is what I really want to show you, but let's get that perfect shot right now. Okay, so double tap for up, and then we're good to go. All right. And all I have to do is fly straight because the drone can do the rest by matching it. I'm going to go up a little bit here. Maybe we want to get a bit of a nice vista. And then here we are.
All right, I just want to show you in the software. Here's the file that it recorded, and it is so easy. So this is originally what the drone saw. I do have like my program running, OBS and everything in the back, as well as Premiere Pro. So it doesn't look this jittery. Anyway, here's me flying past myself. But check out how easy this is. If we just go back to the start right here, and then we want to get that perfect shot, all I'm going to do is click on this little button right here, which is sort of like, hey, here's me. I want to start tracking. And then as it flies past, it's going to know exactly what I'm looking at, and it just makes getting that perfect shot so easy. You don't need any pilot skills. I don't need to orientate the drone or anything like that. Focus on the yaw. You can simply film everything at once, and then as you fly by, like this is hands off, focusing on exactly what I want it to as it goes past, just to capture it like that. First time, almost every time, so you can focus on flying and having fun.
There you are. I can't explain just how easy it is to get that shot. Now, the one thing that I've just remembered is I forgot to hit record. Okay, this is it. I'm just going to continue going straight ahead. And then I'll climb for a little bit of altitude. And that's it. I could have had an amazing vista here. I could do whatever I like with this shot because it is filming everything.
Look, because I do respect you and your time, it does come with some little extras and screwdrivers and things like that. But this is the important part. We can get to that later. I want to show you the good stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this right here. This is the drone itself. This is the Antigravity A1 drone, and it is an 8K recording, 360-degree field of view. What you do, you combine this up to your goggles, which we will do a deep dive and talk about these goggles as well. When you are flying this drone, you've got a really easy to use controller. You go for a bit of a cruise, and wherever you look, you can see everything. I mean everything. The way that it stitches all these cameras together so you as a pilot have unparalleled vision on what you actually want to be looking at. And the best part, if you are into cinematography or getting the perfect shot, this captures everything. You can do one flight, and because it's recording everything, you don't actually have to angle your drone like a traditional FPV drone or make sure that your gimbal is focused on it. This is just going to get that perfect shot every single time. Now underneath you've got a couple little sensors. It does have some nice little landing legs, which you can see right here. I'll put some pictures on the screen about all that. It can fold up, so it is really easy to transport. Like with that carry case that I was sort of holding up before, although that's not the exciting part that I'm interested in. Let's throw it on the scales here. Now remember, this is with no battery. I'm getting about 180 grams. On their website it says it'll be under 250 if you're using the standard battery. I've got some extended range batteries there though, so throwing that on, I've got about 290 grams with the bigger battery. Simply clicks in the back right here. It's really easy to set up. We'll be talking about that. That's something I love as well, the ease of use about this thing. Now, one of the other stars of the show is this right here. This is the Antigravity FPV feed goggle. You're going to be able to use these to look anywhere, and if you move your head this way, you're going to be able to see what's over there. Like, it's able to track everything that you are looking at. It's really, really cool. And as a bit of a bonus as well, it has a screen that is inbuilt on the front right here on the left-hand side, so other people can see a little glimpse of what you are seeing as an FPV pilot. I really like that. If we look at the actual insides though, and we've got two foldable antennas on the outside, some adjustable IPDs, interpupillary distances right here, and you can also focus these in and out if you need to. I'd have to say, we're going to compare them as well to like my DJI goggles that I have right here. The big one about these, you can just see side by side, these have a much higher resolution screen. I'm going to put the pixels on the screen, but it's like 2.5K resolution versus the DJI, which I think is like 1080. The viewing experience over this absolutely destroys what I get with my Generation 3 goggles from DJI right there. Flick it over underneath, you can see we do have a little camera on the front right there as well. Something that I didn't expect, but it was quite a bit of a pleasant surprise. This DVR that you can also record. So not only is your drone going to be doing its own recording, you can record the exact image that is getting sent back to you. And also it has an inbuilt microphone. So that was a bit of a pleasant surprise. You might capture a really cool moment and hear you being like, man, look at this was awesome. You're gonna see my daughter talking about that as well when we're sharing the joy of flying an FPV.
I Dynamite!
You got some volume buttons on the side, that's neither here nor there, a little menu button right here, and also this part is the little power adapter. Now while we're talking about that, I'm going to talk about the Goggle battery that it comes with, and there is so many positives about that drone, but that doesn't mean we don't talk about the negatives here. So there is something that I do want to address, so let me get the battery and show you. So this is the battery right here, and it seems like a pretty sort of standard stuff. This is the first time that I'm used to having it like a bit of a lanyard on here, and you've got this little barrel connector which simply plugs in here. That's fine. But my first negative about this, or something that I wish might not be a game breaker for some, but it is still room for improvement, is this cable right here. This is a special USB cable to a barrel connector. I would have loved it if for the anti-gravity drone, it simply had USB-C to USB-C, because if I lose this cable or I break it, I don't want to have to go and buy another proprietary cable. I know that might seem like a bit of a small thing, but I think that would just take this to the next level if this was just USB-C to USB-C, so it didn't matter what cable you were actually using. Now, if I flick it over, you should be able to see that screen lighting up right there. And also when you're flying, you can do some really, really cool things. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the actual batteries themselves, and we're talking about the controller as well, because it is really easy. Anybody can fly this and have a good time. But I have to mention that in the link down below, there's probably a couple of different versions, and there is probably an affiliate link here, but I want to make it clear that have a look at this. It is up to you to decide if this drone is right up your alley. There's going to be different versions. You might have some with less batteries. You might have some with some bigger extended batteries. What I want to do here in this video is talk about the things that I love about this, and also the things that I would change so you can decide to have a good time. I just want to make that really clear. The anti-gravity crew would probably prefer it if I was like, hey, this is only the good stuff. But this is for you guys, so you can make that informed decision, get the most out of this hobby, because I truly care about you watching this right now. Anyway, the batteries that I get and the little battery charger, you can simply, let's put one of these on right now. What I did really like, I thought this was pretty clever, because when I first looked at this, I was like, oh, my third battery, how is that meant to fit in here? No, there's a little flick and a little latch right there. That's how you can put 3 batteries on. I'm going to put the stats of the different size batteries on the screen as well. It simply charges by USB, and a feature that I did really appreciate is when you are charging more than one battery at once, it was charging one battery at maximum capacity per time, which meant over the course of the hours that this was going to take to charge, yes, all my batteries are going to charge up, but because it was doing one at a time, I didn't have to wait till they were all done. I could simply come and grab one and be like, oh, okay, it spent all this time charging this one as quickly as possible. Now I can go out and fly this, and then I could be like, oh, that was a great flight, come back, now I can fly this one. It's just those little details that show anti-gravity really cares about the pilots and how they're flying and the actual use cases. And we all want to get back in the air as soon as possible. I just thought that was a nice little touch. This one actually is pretty special. This is the Antigravity A1 remote. I'll put some pictures on the screen as well. Not only is it really ergonomic, but when you're flying with this thing, it just feels so intuitive. It's basically go, lift off, record, and also the way you could navigate the menus using this, that made that a bit of a breeze as well. But I did get stuck in one of them when I was trying to exit and do a landing. It wasn't picking up my cursor. I know that at the time of recording this, I do have an earlier firmware version than what you guys will have on release, but that was just one of the other little bugs that I did encounter. But we'll talk about some other things when we're actually out in the field. Overall, really easy to use, simple remote. You simply turn it on right here, and I'm going to show you in just a little bit as well the actual menus and the tutorial when you first turn this on. I love it. We're about to go and fly, but I just want to make it clear that in all my reviewing and everything that I did with this product, I could tell that the anti-gravity group just wanted us to have a good time and enjoy filming and flying. That goes for things like tutorials that are inbuilt in, the way that it updates firmware, just some really clever things that made it feel intuitive and an absolute first-class product. And if you're thinking about starting cinematography, especially now in the States with DJI on a possible ban list coming up in like the 23rd of December, the Antigravity, not only is it the most advanced drone out there that gets amazing results, I dare say it is more streamlined, intuitive, and just feels better. It is a better user experience than DJI. And I mean, I love them. That's my system of choice that I use for FPV. But if I'm ever going to be filming something, it's going to be with this. So let's go out to the field. We're going to fly it around. We're going to show some really cool things. And then when we come back in here, because if you're serious about getting this, there is some things that I would still like to change as well. Just some tiny little parts that would just be the icing on the cake. to the world's most advanced drones. So let's go do it, have some fun, put it through some different tests, compare it to FPV drones, share FPV with other people, get my daughter flying, seeing what it's like, just having an awesome time, throwing in some augmented reality, show you what the editing's like. This, like, you can tell I'm excited. So let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Now something else, where are you? Oh, I'm the wrong way. Now something else that is really cool, that I can leave this drone up here. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to have my hands on the controls all the time. It's really intuitive to fly around, but also if you just like looking at cool things, this is perfect. Wherever I am looking, this is giving me like that bird's eye. It feels like I am just sitting up there in the trees, like, or in the clouds. Like, it is just so cool to be able to look around and see the world in a different way. And I've been flying for a long time. I've experienced a lot of FPV, but something like this is just kind of next level. I'm gonna rotate the drone a little bit. Just cruising over the mangroves. We are going into a headwind, so can definitely feel that on my face. I don't think it's really showing up in the drone too much. And you're not gonna be getting some crazy speeds or anything either. This would be very handy if you were trying to look for something. Like, this just is kind of next level. Oh, and it also shows you your landing point too. All right, so we're getting a few warnings here. It's telling me like low ground level. In regards to the video transmission, it's not as fluid as a traditional FPV drone as well. Something like the DJI-04 Air unit on those manual FPV drones is a more smooth image. However, I just realized I've been like so focused in like being the drone. I thought I was talking to the camera. Okay, so I've been like just completely lost myself over there in the drone. Sorry if you've been seeing my back talk to you right here, but I digress. Okay, I'm not gonna move my feet. That's very cool. Usually that doesn't happen to me. It happens to a lot of first-time FPV pilots. When they start FPV, they forget that they're still here, but that's a very out-of-body experience for me. Let's go through here, see if we can notice any of those, what I like to call tree ghost branches. Very difficult to see on normal drones. We're gonna try and go through the trees just here. I am getting some obstacle warnings. All right, we're through. Yeah, look at this. Very, very cool. Not too bad image penetration as well. I wonder just how far we can go down here. I would normally expect some breakup, and I did get a little bit of a warning then actually about breakup. This would be normal for any FPV system to break up down here, so it is doing quite well. Video system blocked, fly with caution.
I'd just like to take this moment to say these drone videos, they take a ton of time to make. Like, if you look at the description, the amount of chapters and stuff down below, there is a lot of information here. It would be much easier just to make a flashy commercial showing all the good parts and trying to sell it, but that's not what I want to do. You guys deserve an honest review about the pros, the cons, the things we'd like to change, and ultimately, is this anti-gravity worth your time, your money, and your investment? So if you appreciate this style of video, the work that I do here on UAVfutures, and you would like to help me share this message of people just enjoying drones and enjoying the hobby, that little member button is down below. Let me tell you, it truly does help. So if that is you today and you're gonna sign up, I just wanna say thank you so much. All right, let's get on with the video, the pros and also the cons. Like, let's show me that.
Oh, we just had a little bit of a dropout. Now this is something that's interesting as well. When you look somewhere, you're going to be changing your antenna's orientation. So that is paramount to your video quality as well. I'm going to bring this back. We're going to go for a little flight. And we'll see if we any trees pop out of the way. Where's my cursor? It's not going to let me go through here. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I know there's something right in front of us. Okay, it's pretty good at stopping you flying into things, which is great. I mean, I wasn't worried about that because I fly FPV almost every single day. But for a pilot who's a little bit worried, and you know, you've all seen those accidents where they're not completely skilled and they might lose their drone, this is going to save them having to order a new one, or at least a crash and some damages. Right, let's bring this in. Now, something I really like as well is this can be my like filming tripod. It doesn't matter where I'm walking. Sorry, I'm leaving this camera. It doesn't matter where I'm going. This could be perfect. I could bring this down to this level, and then this is like a perfect cameraman for me. It doesn't really matter too much where I am, which frame of reference I am, because I can always film it right here. Now it is ticking away, but now it is giving me some warnings saying, hey, you're too close, maybe don't fly into yourself. But I don't know, like I'm out here filming a lot of times by myself, and just the ability to have a cameraman right there filming everything. It's not terribly noisy. Of course, you're still going to get some drone noises. You get that with all drones, but if you're using a good audio mic or something, it makes this super easy. So I use this mic anyway, even when I'm just recording on my GoPro, but to have you guys right there with me that I can film, show, do anything. And we also get pretty good flight times. I had one here hovering before, that was like half an hour. So anyway, I'm going to do the little return to home, which is this button right here, the red brake button. Let's just press that. I'm just going to hold it in, and then I think it should return to home. Let's check this out. I will check in the goggles as well. Confirm landing environment is safe. Where's my, where are we? Why can't I see my cursor? Because I think I've encountered a bug. I'm trying to land this. Oh, there we go. I've got my cursor back. I don't know what was happening there. Okay, so that part was kind of interesting. You normally have a cursor on the screen that is really intuitive, like the remote on any modern TV that you can point things at. When I was trying to land there and it said, hey, just check that there's nothing there, confirm, I couldn't find my cursor on the screen to try to confirm it. So I'll have to put a little annotation here if that is a known bug, or maybe I just got unlucky, or this is an earlier version of the firmware as well to what most people are going to get. So anyway, now this is something I forgot to check. Can you actually see my flight on the front of these goggles? So yeah, how cool is that? Wherever I'm looking, hopefully this is coming through on the camera as well. I don't know what the glare is going to be like, but wherever I look, you can actually see. This is really trippy, actually, what the drone's looking at. So yeah, just another way of sharing the amazing hobby of drones with more people. Let's see if it can land right back on where I took it from. So we'll see if it can land on this backpack here. All right, it's actually saying unsafe landing detected. Let's try again anyway. Fly to a safe location and try again. Okay, how about over here? All right, let's land there then. I didn't get the landing bug that time. All right, so I guess you do need somewhere to land. A grassy field is probably going to be fine. We're about only halfway done through this battery. I don't know if it's going to come up on the screen. I do really like you can just tap the back of them and you can see exactly how much charge is in your battery. I think that's really clever. And then I do love these little landing feet as well. I think they help. So now something I absolutely love about FPV is bringing people along on that journey. Normally that requires 2 pairs of goggles. I've got to be the pilot, but with this, you can actually plan some missions and then give these goggles to them. The drone will fly itself and they just get to experience being up there, and even better than being stuck in a fixed position craft, they can look around while that's happening. So let me just show you how special that is, and that's probably one of the features I like the most about this. Just experiencing the world from a different point of view and being able to give that to people with 0 flight experience or technical skills needed. So I'll show you how cool that is. Let's fold this up. Go and share FPV with like some more people. Let's go do it. Now in my testing, I've noticed one limitation of the A1, and that is when you put it at eye level, I guess directly as a floating little tripod, it jumps between cameras. Is it using the top camera or the bottom camera? You would have seen some of that in my footage. So I'm gonna put it up a little bit higher and see if I can kind of recreate that as a mobile filming tracking platform, but where I'm not splitting between the cameras. So let's try that again. All right, so we're just about to take the drone off. I hope I'm looking at this camera here. Let's take off right now. So it's floating up there. we can probably see. And yeah, let's see if I'm walking around. I know this is going to keep spinning around because I've got the remote in my hand, but hopefully you can have something in the sky, talk to it like this, and it's not going to be too bad. You're not going to be getting that splitting between the two. But now the fun part, let's share this FPV experience with pilots who have no idea how to fly. So let's do that.
Now, I do have a bit of an apology here for my 5-year-old daughter. I'm so sorry because I promised her we're going to go flying on a drag and she was so pumped. We're going to use this feature called Skypath where you can essentially map out where you want the drone to go and then you can just hand it over to somebody and they can experience the joys of flying around and looking around at everything with the 360-degree vision. However, because I've had this thing for months and testing it out, this is like early firmwares that I have. Skypath wasn't available. But rest assured, it is available for anybody who picks it up today, the official release firmware and all that sort of stuff. You will have Skypath, you'll be able to use it. But as a pleasant bonus as well, when I was doing this, I did not expect the microphone on the goggles to pick up some audio. So we captured some really cute little moments. But here we are, we're about to take off with a bit of augmented reality. You'll see it on my daughter. And yeah, it's just a bit of a classic moment that I'm really, really excited that I caught on film as well. Put this on your head. Are you ready to sit on a dragon?
Oh, we're above something.
Yeah, have a look
We're
around.
flying a dragon. Whoa.
What can you see?
A dragon head.
Oh, what about the wings? Can you see the wings flapping? What about in front of you? Are you up high?
I'm a knight.
What are you?
A knight.
You're a knight. What can you see?
Well, I can see a knight, and I can see our house. There's a all
Okay.
flying all everywhere.
I can't fly it. I'm sorry.
Why can't you move it?
How's that?
Yeah,
Whoa, did that feel like you were flying?
yeah,
Are we facing us now?
yes.
All right. I can actually almost fly by just looking at the camera that's on the front of your goggles here, but let's bring it in for a landing. Is it coming home yet?
No, there's something. Daddy, look. It can't. There's something black with an orange press button and a black press button.
All right, let me have a look.
All right, so here it is just doing some return to home stuff, but I thought I'd just try out some of this one's called a crystal ball feature in the software that we use as well that comes with the A1. So this was super easy to use. Just click a button. There's a whole bunch of different effects, but let's bring it in for a landing. And I'm also going to put the audio on the screen so you can see how loud the drone is with no special microphones or anything if you're just standing right next to it.
Can I sit in the chair?
Soon. Wait there, Willow, till I say.
Sorry for the interruption, but did you know that only 25% of my viewers are actually subscribed? I've set a goal of trying to get to 220,000 by the end of the year. It is getting closer than ever, so if you could help me reach that number, it would be greatly appreciated. All right, let's get back to the video. Now those FPV shots are out of the way and you can see just how easy it is. In just a moment, I'm going to talk about some other features, things like return to home. What's going to happen if you lose power to your goggles or your radio? The augmented reality, I haven't even shown you that yet. Things like taking off, it's doing some really cool things. Now something I want to test is what will actually happen if you are flying out long range and you lose your signal. Now we got the Bayard there. This isn't going to be long range, but that doesn't mean we can't simulate this. I'm going to put this up, fly it a little way, and then we're going to unplug our goggles, try and turn our radio off and see will this thing come home or what sort of behavior can you expect if you get one of those worst case situations. There I am down there. Let's pull the goggles down. Now let's see what happens if we lose signal to the goggles. So the drone, it's way up there. We're simply gonna, well actually let's turn the radio off and see if the drone says anything. Let's hold this signal button, the power button. All right, we've lost control, returning drone automatically. Well, that's the controller, so that's pretty handy.
I'd say that's a success. We'll turn my radio on. We'll turn the controller on and see if that's the same thing when you lose the goggles as well. We're just going to straight unplug them. All right, now the test. Let's just unplug our goggles. Oh no, we've run out of battery or we've lost signal. I don't know what's going to happen here. The drone's still up there. Oh, it's starting to orientate. It looks like it's coming home by itself as well. I'd call that a success. Even if you lose your controller or your goggle link, you're still going to get your drone back, which is what you want, because this is a high-tech piece of kit. You don't want to have to go searching out there trying to find it. I like that it can come home like that. Oh, here's a little feature I actually didn't know that it done. Because I've unplugged my goggles and it just sort of automatically landed in an emergency, it's then going to start beeping, doing some special tech with the motors and the ESC to make this noise, so you can still go and locate it as well. Just another feature to help you find your drone in the worst situation. All right, now before you rush off and purchase this, I do have a bit of a list of pros, cons, and things that I think are worth mentioning as well. So look, I do have some affiliate links down below. They do support the channel. If you don't like it, feel free just to Google this drone and get it somewhere else. But before you do that, I do have a bit of a list of some things I'd like to change. We've spoken a couple about the barrel connector. I do wish this was just a straight USB-C connector. We've had a bug where I couldn't actually get the menu on the screen when I was coming to land. That may be fixed with a firmware update, but the first one I have is like the skypath. Trying to actually fly around and plan something with that. I do apologize to my daughter. I'm assured and told that it will be working once this is available for retail. I've had this thing for months. I have done some firmware updates. It wasn't available at the time that I'm recording this, but I'll put a little annotation on the screen when I hear back from Antigravity about that. I've spoken about the goggle cable. We've spoken about that little glitch when I was trying to go through here. Now this one was a big one. You will have noticed when I was trying to use this as a bit of a field camera and doing a recording, this drone films great in 8K when it is either above you or a little bit below you. So these two cameras right here, when it is at exactly iPad eye level, when it's exactly at eye level, you're going to get that stitching between those two images. So that's where I had to do that retake there. So if you're trying to film something front on at eye level, it's not going to work. You're going to get that bit of a distortion. It needs to be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. It's kind of like exactly where this camera is right now. And I'll even put a still on the screen that shows where you can see that image sort of getting split in half and restitched back together. Now something else I'd like to change, and maybe this is just because I went to public school, but the record system on this, pressing the record button, really, really easy. However, I wish it would just do auto record on takeoff. Record on my goggles, record on the drone as soon as I start flying, because I got some really cool shots, and when I was checking in the editing software, I was like, I can't believe I didn't record. So if you're gonna remember more than I do, thanks very much, my ADHD brain, but I would love it if there was an option, maybe in the software, I'll put another annotation if it can be changed, but I couldn't see it, that it just does auto record by default. That's how I want this to work when you are flying around. Now, here's a little positive that I want to throw in there as well. When I was out in the field and I had to update this drone, something I really liked about it was I had updated the goggles and it noticed the mismatch in firmware, so I had to update my drone. That was fine because it could do it all talking to itself. I didn't actually need an internet connection out there. So even though my goggles are on the latest firmware, they were able to somehow send that over to the drone and it could update then and there
without the internet connection. I didn't have to sort of connect this up to my phone or anything like that. So that was a bit of a bonus. I appreciated it. I thought I would have had to bring it home, plug it into the computer or anything like that. So, you know, hats off to them that they've thought of those sorts of solutions. I did really like the little landing feet that come in and out of this. You're not going to be able to take it off on long grass though. Feature that I didn't mention at the start, but I really like, and it's probably not going to mean much to many people, but it means a lot to me, is this has payload detection. So that means if you're trying to strap something, carry something that you shouldn't be, that's a little bit heavier, this is going to be able to pick that up. And this is the first time that I've seen a company take a step against something that's like, hey, you probably shouldn't be using drones for that. We're not going to allow that. So thumbs up, I really like that as well. And then seeing you're still here, we're going to talk about the actual carry case that you can get, you know, whatever version, you know, your mileage is going to vary with your other little optional extras and those sorts of things. You do get this case. It does fit nicely in here, but something that I would probably change is this little case right here. I had trouble, unless this is actually, I've actually stopped using this because it wasn't sort of working for me. Okay, I changed my mind. This was the last thing that I would like to change, and I found it kind of difficult to all fit in there perfectly. I don't know why that's the case now, that it's just, it is fitting perfect. So I take that whole, sorry Antigravity in my email, I take that back. It does fit perfectly in the case. I don't know why I've got that written on here, that make it fit in the case better, because, well, that's kind of easy. I guess if you like to go traveling. All right, there's so many positives about this drone, and ultimately it all comes down to what sort of experience do you want. It's never going to replicate a fast FPV racing drone or maybe a freestyle drone doing flip-flops through the trees. This is a drone. It is a filming platform first, but it is still so much fun. Like the return to home features, it's really safe, it's really easy to fly, and being able to put this on, have a screen that I can share the image, other people can say, hey, what are you looking at? You can see that exactly on here. Having things like skypath, if that's working, getting my daughter to be able to fly a dragon and fly through the sky, like, it's just such a nice user experience, and also it is so well refined. It is a better user experience with very few things that I would like to change. And it's saying something when a company like this on their first drone in the skies is what I believe is doing better than what DJI's done with how long they have been in the market. Stay tuned, because you're going to see this a lot more probably on the channel, but just as part of my workflow. Like if I need to film something, I'm filming some flight videos that I want to teach people how to fly. This makes it so easy. I can just throw it up in the sky, know that I'm getting that perfect shot every single time. I don't have to muck around. You're getting like 30 minutes later. There's so many details that I could talk that are really cool. Put them in the comments down below, because I'm sure this video is already long enough, because it deserves to be. It's a great product. I'd love to know what you think. I give it a thumbs up, and it has very few things that actually, no things that are deal breakers, only a few little minute things that I'd like to change, like auto record. I don't like this Goggle battery thing, proprietary cable right here. Why can't that be USB-C? And if you haven't subscribed yet, please, this is that second reminder. Go and do that if you saw this part at the end.